All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something pretty unique, a spiritual platform that says it's not just another app. In fact, it calls itself a pass to a whole other reality. So what's the deal with Sirius Gate, and why are they calling every other meditation app out there spiritual fast food?
Yeah, you heard that right. Fast food. They're really throwing down the gauntlet with that comparison, aren't they? The whole idea is, you might get that quick, easy fix from a normal app. A little moment of calm, but you're missing out on the real substance, the deep stuff. And that's really the core problem they say they're here to solve. Okay, so before we jump into what they do, let's really dig into the problem they see. What's their big issue with the way digital mindfulness works right now?
Their critique is pretty blunt, actually. They're saying other apps just give you this temporary calm. It gets repetitive, kind of boring, and you never feel like you're actually making any real progress. So you're just wasting your time, right? They use this great analogy. It's like you're left standing on the shore, but you never actually get to dive into the deep water of real transformation.
And this quote really sums it up. The idea is that you're just lost. You're wandering around in this maze of sounds and music without any real path or goal. It's not a journey to somewhere, it's just wandering.
Okay, so that's the problem they're laying out. So what's their solution? This is where we get into the whole Sirius Gate proposition.
And you really have to pay attention to the wording here. They're not calling it software. It's a pass, like a ticket. The ambition is huge, right? They're positioning this as a literal gateway, a tool to get you past the limits of your everyday reality.
Wow, this quote really hammers home the difference in scale we're talking about. It's a total shift in focus. It's not about a passive thing like buying a moment of calm. No, it's about an active, transformative process. They're not just selling you a feature, they're promising you a full-on consciousness revolution. So you're probably wondering, how in the world are they supposed to do that? Well, this is where we get into the nitty-gritty, the specific mechanics they say makes their system totally different from anything else out there. First up, forget about that generic calming music or nature sounds. They replace all of that with something they call original divine mantras. So these are apparently unique chants spoken by a real human voice, and they're not random. They change every single day and are designed for a specific chakra and a specific purpose. Now, this next part is absolutely crucial. They say it's not just what you do, it's when you do it. The meditations are actually timed, synchronized with specific cosmic events. Think the movement of the star Sirius or the Orion constellation. The idea is to tap into that cosmic energy when it's at its most powerful. In fact, get this, the app literally won't even open outside of these specific times. They say it's to protect you. And the last piece of the puzzle here, they claim they're cutting out the middleman. So instead of listening to a human guide walk you through a meditation, their system is designed to plug you directly into, well, what they call the source of existence. This, they argue, makes the whole journey completely authentic and untainted. So, you take the mantras, you add the cosmic timing, and it all leads up to this one central, pretty wild claim. They say that doing just one session this way is, wait for it, 100 times stronger than a session on any other app. 100x. That's a pretty massive number.
But look, this isn't about just doing a few superpowered sessions here and there. No, the whole thing is framed as a long-term, really structured journey, and it has a very clear end goal, something they call the Supermind.
And they've got this path laid out in 3 clear stages. First, you've got 6 months of daily practice just to build the habit. And they're serious. They want at least 85% commitment. After that, you move into a 10-month phase of deep retreats. And to top it all off, the final 4 months are all about integration with divine vibrations, which apparently happens inside a pyramid. The whole point of this entire journey, the grand finale, is to reach what they call the gamma state. They describe it as the super rare state of consciousness that literally reprograms how you see the world. And they try to connect it to modern science too, saying their retreats are all about boosting neuroplasticity to help you get there. So if you actually make it through this whole thing, the promises are huge. We're not just talking about feeling a little less stressed, no. They're talking about completely reprogramming your mind, connecting with your wish star, your destiny, and reaching a state of supermind. And, maybe the wildest claim of all,
actually exiting the matrix. Okay, so you have to be asking yourself, who is this for? I mean, it's an incredibly demanding, multi-year commitment. While the source material is super clear that it's for a very, very exclusive group of people. They come right out and say it. This is not for everyone. It's not a mass market thing. They see it as an exclusive path, and you have to have a certain level of spiritual readiness that, frankly, they say most people just don't have.
And again, the language is so specific. They don't want users. They're looking for pioneers. People who are brave, courageous explorers, ready to go on what they consider a really serious spiritual quest.
I love this framing. They call it a PhD in cosmic consciousness. That really tells you everything you need to know about how they see it, right? It's an advanced, expert-level thing. This is definitely not Meditation 101. It's for people who, in their words, are thirsty to gather their celestial fragments. And that brings us to the final question they leave you with. It really reframes this whole thing, doesn't it? It's not just about self-improvement anymore. It's about joining this tiny elite group, the 0.1%, who get the secret of existence. It's an incredibly bold claim for sure, and definitely a fascinating idea to think about.